Hail Satan. As you should know, there are 72 spirits described in the Lemegeddon, the Lesser Key of Solomon, in the book known as the Goetia, the Ars Goetia. Usually I say there are 72 spirits described in Goetic literature because there are various translations and versions of the Goetia. The Ars Goetia, the Goetia of Dr. Rudd, etc., etc. These 72 spirits are described elsewhere throughout Grimoire literature as well. When I say Grimoire, of course, I mean books with magical information, occult books. Grimoires are occult-based books that deal in magic. Tomes, T-O-M-E-S. But this in my hand is a rather cheap copy of an English translation of the Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And the 72 spirits that are described in the Goetia, in Goetic literature, the 72 spirits described in Goetic literature are also described in the Pseudomonarchia Daemonum, the false hierarchy of demons. Excuse me, the false monarchy of demons. And this is a rather cheap English translation. Of a work that was published in 1583. This version is Reginald Scott's English translation from his 1583 work, The Discovery of Witchcraft. Now, I will read to you some of this book. This book that details powerful spirits. This book that details demons. And I will explain what things represent and mean as I read. Of course, this is a book that was written in the 15th century, so you have to realize that these words will sound medieval. An inventory of the names, shapes, powers, government, and effects of devils and spirits, of their several signorities and degrees, a strange discourse worth the reading. Their first and principal king is called Bel, who when he is conjured up appeareth with 3 heads, the first like a toad, the second like a man, the third like a cat. He speaketh with a hoarse voice, he maketh a man go invisible. He hath under his obedience and rule 66 legions of devils. Six legions of devils amounts to 66 legions of devils. A Roman legion was 6,000 well-armed soldiers. In Grimoire literature, in the world of demons and devils, a legion is 6,666. Now it is said that Bel, when conjured up, appears with three heads. This obviously symbolizes three separate but joined, unified sources of energy. Because a head has a brain, usually. So there are three brains, three egos, three distinct minds. Bell has three distinct perspectives. Three distinctly different personalities that are a part of the same collective entity. Does that make any sense? He speaketh with a hoarse voice. Well, you should know what a hoarse voice means. He maketh a man go invisible. Well, other than teaching the art of invisibility, this is a spirit creature. Bel is a king of demons, apparently. With that being said, if the literature says that Bel maketh a man go invisible, it can mean three different things. You can teach a man invisibility. You can make a man vanish into thin air. Now, it's purely subjective, so what do you think the third meaning is? I'll let you think about that. And we'll continue with that later on another day. The first duke under the power of the East is named Agares. He cometh up mildly in the likeness of a fair old man, riding upon a crocodile, and carrying a hawk on his fist. He teacheth presently all manner of tongues. He fetcheth back all such as run away, and maketh them run that stand still. He overthroweth all dignities, supernatural and temporal. He maketh earthquakes, and is of the order of virtues, having under his regiment 31 legions. He teacheth presently all manner of tongues. It means that he can teach you any language that you desire to learn, almost instantly. This includes the language of humans, human languages. This includes the language of animals, in a manner similar to the spirit Barbatos. Who happens to be the eighth spirit described in the Goetia. He fetcheth back all such as run away and maketh them run that stand still. He could find lost people, persons, and individuals, and he can make individuals run that stand still. Obviously, he can cause a human to feel fear, and once the human feels fear, the human will flee from the scene. He overthroweth all dignity, supernatural and temporal, means that he has a control over the positions in certain groups, Overthrows means to overcome. to smash down, to batter down barriers. So with that being said, it doesn't matter who you think you are. Agorese doesn't care. Agorese will make you look like a nobody, is what it's saying, technically. He maketh earthquakes. That's simple to think about. And is of the order of virtues. The virtues are an angelic order of angels. As you know, the angelic order, the angelic family is split into different groups or species or subspecies or whatever you want to refer to these groups as, these parts of a collective mind of God. Marbus, alias Barbus, is a great president and appeareth in the form of a mighty lion, but at the commandment of a conjurer cometh up in the likeness of a man, and answereth fully as touching anything which is hidden or secret. Meaning, if you have any questions about the occult, ask Marbus, because Marbus knows the secrets of the occult. Marbus can answer it fully as touching anything which is hidden or secret. The occult is something hidden or secret. He bringeth the diseases and cureth them. Self-explanatory. He promoteth wisdom and the knowledge of mechanical arts. He's a great teacher in occult matters and other earthly matters, or handicrafts. He changeth men into other shapes. He can transform a man into any object that he wants to change a man into. Usually, the object that he changes a man into is an object in the immediate surrounding area that the man is located in, with the spirit, which is Marbus. But that's not always how that works out. But I won't talk about that later. I won't talk about that right now. I'll talk about more of that later, because I'm actually, not going to talk about that right now. But Marbus can change a man into anything that Marbus wants to change a man into. All Marbus needs to do is know what he wants to change a man into. And what happens is the man will be transmuted into something else. Even if the man looks like a man, the man will function, behave, and work like something else. Under his presidency or government are 36 legions of devils contained. It's hot as a sauna with a capital S at the moment. We're going to pause right there, and we'll continue with Amon later. Amen. The seventh spirit described in the Goetia. Which is the fourth spirit mentioned in this book. Hell Satan. Look outside that window.